Hi and welcome to Budget Model Railways. And we're back on this two-level layout. I'm also going to talk today about a couple of other layouts I've got working on, an exhibition and stuff, so stay with us. This layout actually got quite a lot of interest when I last did it. The interesting thing with me is I tend to get a burst of enthusiasm when I make these layouts. So this was made quite a few months ago. It's a bit of a floating shelf panel. And then a raised, I used timber for a change, which is unusual, but I happen to have a load of timber kicking around. It's first radius on the bottom, which is quite important because most of my locos will run round it. And it's a 10-inch diameter flexi track on the back, which the Kato pocket line stuff will go around quite nicely. And I suddenly had a couple of ideas come together, which is often what happens with me, which I'll explain in a minute. And I suddenly realised I got a use for this. However, I'd cannibalised it. And those of you that are more observant will know that last time this siding was going this way and that one was going that way. But I ripped all that up to make another layout. So I had to then have a rummage around, re-cannibalise the layout I'd built from this one, find some track I had kicking around and some points I had kicking around, which meant that the siding now goes this way and the good siding goes that way. And I'm using a medium point there, whereas normally I use the very short points. The idea is that this will be a goods yard, usual two-road goods yard, which gives me the ability to either shunt it as a tuning fork or to use the third line as an inglenook. And I can also have a nice big station there with a really long passenger train. And then I'm toying at the moment with leaving this almost possibly as trams. And you'll see why when I do the station in a minute. So although at the moment this comes off of here potentially as a goods siding, I may straighten it out and do a nice little engine shed in there for the trams depot, which is something I've wanted to build many years ago. I think it was at one of the Sompting shows. There was this fabulous O-gauge tram layout, and I just loved it. He had a little depot there with these trams going in and out of it up a little hill. It was just really something. So I might leave that for trams. Talking about something, here we go. 10th of May, don't forget. Come and see us. It will be where we've got the Japanese layout, which you've seen a few videos on, which is getting quite a bit of interest and is coming along quite nicely. So what got this layout sort of going again? Well, some of you know I've spoken before about the idea of model railways as a craft, almost like art. And I was watching, we're talking to a guy actually at a gallery because my wife's a watercolour painter. And very good one actually. And I really thought, I want to make an art layout. I want to make something that's different. I don't want to do the bog standard. I want to make something that's really personal. And that means scratch building buildings. Now by happy coincidence, I just built this, which is a station building for my other layout that I'm building, my harbour layout, that's going to go in a case. And I was pleased with that. You know, it's a nice looking building. I was happy with the roof. By using injection moulded doors and windows, and I can 3D print them, I got what I thought was a really nice look. And some of you will know the low relief ones I've built as well. So the idea is to go back to what I've done before, which is a massive town layout. So all of this will be town. 2-3 layers, because I've got a fiddle road over the back. So in fact, when I say I'm going to leave this as trams, I'm probably not, because I'm probably going to run a goods train out of there. But that needs to be hidden. So I'll have 3 layers, 3 tiers, like a wedding cake, to put trains on. And another idea which I've had for a long while is a very Mediterranean look. So lots of pantile roofs, terracotta colours, yellows, beiges, pale colours, completely freelance buildings. Some of you will know the kind of fantastical layout that I think was at Spa Valley this year. Sorry, I don't know the name of it. But it's sort of halfway between the two. So imagine it crammed for the buildings, alleys, side roads. It would be a very long-term project, but it would be something where I could build a building when I get a moment. A bit like, sorry if I'm saying, but a bit like Rod Stewart. Rod Stewart likes making the buildings. If anybody's read his articles, yes, he's got this huge layout, but what he actually likes doing is buildings. I like running trains. I like all of model railways, but I do like making buildings, and it would give me an opportunity to be very creative, to completely freelance and design lots of buildings, which is an outlet I'd quite like. Rolling stock wise, well, the top's not a problem. At the bottom, frankly, I'll just run some of my very generic looking Japanese locos, and the EMUs are very generic looking, and I've got a very nice DMU as well. So I'm not too worried about the rolling stock. It would be to have trains running through this kind of, frankly, almost bonkers scene. Now, when will I do it? Don't know. I'm currently working on the harbour layout, which that building's on, and I need to put a lot of time into the Japanese layout because something's showy is fast coming along. But I like to have a few projects. And this does demonstrate, again, the advantage of N-gauge. I haven't done the measurements. Right, so it is 90 centimetres, about 35 and a bit inches by, I can't get the tape measure to work. 55 centimetres, about 22 inches. So that does show the advantage of N, because I've got two running tracks there, loads of sidings in really what would fit on a desk. So, yeah, it could be very creative, this one, and that's why I'm getting quite interested in it. But don't expect a lot of progress, but I know it's popular last time, so I thought I'd give an update. So there we go, another idea in my head. Hopefully it might give some people some inspiration. This is all second-hand track, by the way, very second-hand. It wants a good clean. Those people that are still saying you can't use second-hand track, it's utter bonkers rubbish. In fact, some of this track is so second, third, fourth or fifth hand, I'm not even sure I could describe it as second-hand. Well used would be better. Yes, it wants a clean, but it all runs quite happily. So it won't be an expensive layout, especially if I'm scratch building all the buildings and 3D printing the doors and windows, but it will be a very long project. Let me know what you think, as always. Always interested to hear what people think. Occasionally we get people who don't agree with us, but there you go. That's the joy of the hobby. If you're a rivet counter, you won't enjoy what we do. We get people picking all sorts of holes in what we do. It's particularly funny when it's freelance, because how can you pick holes in it? You know, if it's a freelance layout, frankly, if it's any layout, you can do what you like. You know me, I don't like the rules. I think it stifles creativity. If you want to run a pink loco with white spots on your Great Western Rail, just run it. It should be whatever you enjoy doing, and that's what this layout will be. So, look forward to speaking to you all again soon.